be any different from the same old baloney that we keep serving ourselves, then we must change our old routine. We must change our habits, and we must change our mindsets. So y'all gonna talk to me here. And this is of this message really is that Christ has the sovereign authority to change the lives and circumstances of those who are willing to be changed. The story, my brother and sister, is told of two construction workers, Brother Martin, who had taken their lunch break and opened up their lunch boxes while simultaneously looking inside of their lunchbox. One of the construction workers blurted out, "Not bologna again." I can't believe it. I hate bologna. This is the third time this week that I've had bologna. I can't stand bologna. To which the second construction worker replied, said, "Then why don't you just ask your wife to make you something different?" The first worker replied, "I don't have a wife. I made the bologna sandwiches myself." Are y'all in here with me? Well, what are you saying today, Pastor Corbett? Most people would rather complain about the bologna in their lives than make something different. Are y'all going to talk to me here? I said most folk would rather complain about all the bologna in their life rather than making something different. In other words, the moral of the story, you are in charge of your lunchbox. Talk to me, somebody. You are in charge of your own life. So if you're going to keep on making yourself bologna sandwiches, that's on you. Are y'all in here with me? In fact about it, the matter, most of the bologna in most of our lives are placed there by our own desires. Lundy, if we want life to be any different from the same old baloney that we keep serving ourselves, then we must change our old routine. We must change our habits, and we must change our mindsets. So y'all gonna talk to me here. And this is seen in this text that I read in your hearing. In this text, Jesus is back in Jerusalem to celebrate an unnamed feast of a Passover. And he chooses to heal a paralyzed man on the Sabbath day to affirm his messianic identity and to flex his own sovereign power. By healing this paralyzed man, Jesus affirms to us at least two realities. One, that he is the final authority over human life and law. Are y'all in here with me? Two, he has sovereign authority to change lives and circumstances of those who are willing to be changed. Look at your neighbor and tell them change is possible. But in order for change to take place, you got to have the right mindset. Are y'all going to talk to me? I'm already preaching. You got to have the right mindset. If you're going to keep serving yourself the same old baloney in your life, the same old problems in your life, I don't care what you do, where you go, if you yourself have not changed, you're going to get the same old baloney. Talk to me, somebody. There's no need in you change a new car when you got the same mindset. If you didn't take care of the one you had, you ain't going to take care of a new one. Talk to me, somebody. If you got the same old mindset, I'm already preaching here. If you got the same old structure, you got the same old filthy heart, it's not going to help you if you serving the same old meal. This text is tailored to teach us that Jesus Christ has the sovereign authority to change the lives and circumstances of people who desire change. Now, the relevant question of the text is, what must those, listen to me, what must those willing to be changed do for change to happen? What should we do? Point number one, I'm on the runway already. If you want change to happen in your life, the first thing you must do is retain aspiration for the possibility of change. Retain aspiration for the possibility of change. How do you do that? Well, let me give you the sub-points. If you're going to retain aspiration for the possibility of change, according to the text, the first thing you got to do is you got to worship the eternal. Are y'all going to talk to me here? I say you got to worship the eternal. The problem with many of us, we are in the man and not the man. Come on and talk to me here. You got to worship the eternal. You can't follow a man. You got to follow the man. I ain't making up. It's here in the text in verse 1 and 2. The text informs us. I'm already preaching and feel pretty good. The text informs us that this took place during an unnamed feast, but it also on the Sabbath day. Even though the man was paralyzed, he was still in the place of worship. You didn't get that. Even though he was paralyzed, he was still in the place of worship. Listen, I come to bless you today. You might be paralyzed right now. You might have a bad mindset right now, but at least you are in the place of worship. You ought to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, at least I'm in the place of worship. I got some issues in my life. I got some baloney in my life. I got some stuff in my life. But one thing I do know, I'm going to worship the eternal. Are y'all going to talk to me here? You ought to look at him today and tell him, I didn't come to praise Pastor Corbett. I come to worship the eternal. I got too much baloney in my life. I got too much mess in my life. I came to worship the eternal. I come to worship God because I know my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness on Christ. I wish I had some help. If I was on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So if you're going to retain aspiration for the possibility of change, you got to worship the eternal. Not only should you worship the eternal, but then you got to wait enduringly. Can the church say wait enduringly? Look at verse 3. Are y'all there? The text does not say directly that he waited at the pool for 38 years. But Minister Lawson, he was afflicted for 38 years. Watch it now. It didn't say he waited at the pool, but he said he was afflicted for 38 years. This man shows us how he held on until help was there. Here it is. Here it is. This man endured watching others get healed and delivered from that situation, while every time he attempts to get to the water, somebody else get in front of him. Now, isn't it hard sometimes to sit and watch other folk get delivered of that situation? But yours seem to be getting worse. Am I talking to anybody in here? It's kind of hard and tough sometimes to see other folk always look like they are always getting the blessing, Sister LaBoy. But I've learned that there are times when you just learn how to wait on God. They that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, mount up wings as eagles. So the text says, watch this here, he worshiped the eternal. Royce, he waited enduringly. Third sub point, he watched expectantly. I said he watched expectantly. You got to watch with expectation. Since you at the pool this morning, come on here, Lundy. Since you at the pool, hopefully you didn't come in here to be entertained. Hopefully you came in here expecting God to do something in your life. The text said he watched with expectation. Look at verse 4 and 5. This man was at the pool expecting something to happen. He wasn't there twiddling his thumb. He wasn't there looking on Facebook while Reverend preaching. He wasn't texting his neighbor across the church to look at so-and-so while I'm preaching. He was there with expectation. And the reason why a lot of y'all ain't blessed, you come with the wrong expectation. You come looking at other folk rather than waiting on God. I'm already preaching. If you tell somebody, you got to have the right expectation. And as a child of God, can I bless you here today? As a child of God, you ought to have a certain level of expectation. You ought to want me to whoop your behind sometime. You ought to want the word to tie you up sometime. You know you ain't going to live no better till you get a good whooping. Are y'all in here with me? He watched expecting a miracle to happen. And when I come to worship, you ought to come expecting God to do something. When I pray, you ought to pray expecting God to answer your prayer. Retain aspiration for the possibility of change. Why I go through all of this? Come to church, get your hair done, put on your clothes, put on your tie, put on your heels, put on your makeup. Don't come with a spirit of expectation. You ought to come in here, clean this up, say, look here now, Pastor, don't come playing today, because I come with a word. I come to get something today. I come with the spirit of expectation. Y'all gonna talk to me here? So not only should you retain aspiration for the possibility of change by worshiping the eternal, by waiting enduringly, and by watching expecting. But second point, if you're going to make change possible, second thing, you got to rise above the problems of change. You got to rise above the problems of change. Where do you find it? Verse 7 records this, that the paralyzed man's response to the question, Brother Martin, that Jesus raised in verse 6. Jesus wanted to know if this paralytic man wanted to be changed. Y'all see that in there? Jesus wanted to know. Now, everybody at the pool today don't want to be changed. Come on and talk to me here. Everybody up in the chapel today don't want to be changed. You just came because it was Sunday. Everybody don't want to go higher. You just came because this is what you always done. For 38 years, that's what he always did. Are y'all in here with me? So Jesus asked the question. He said, now do you want change? But watch this here. Rather than, Sister Michelle, rather than answer the question with a clear yes or no, the paralyzed man offers an explanation. He offers an explanation. He offers justification why his condition hadn't changed in 38 years. Notice now, the man was not totally paralyzed. Watch the text now. He wasn't totally paralyzed because verse 7, the B clause, implied that he had some activity of his limbs. Because it said, but while I'm coming, another gets in front of me. So in order to come and go anywhere, you got to have a certain amount of mobility. Y'all going to talk to me if you will. In order, he said, while I'm trying to get there, somebody else get in front of me. Now, Jesus wanted to know if he wanted change. In other words, Jesus wanted him to take, watch this here, he wanted the man to take responsibility for the change that he desired. Do you know why a lot of folk are not blessed today? Because you don't want to take responsibility for the change that need to happen in your life. You want to fault the preacher, you want to fault deacons, you want to fault mothers, you want to fault everybody but yourself. My heart ain't black, yours is. My heart ain't 50, yours is. Talk to me, somebody. You got to take responsibility. Jesus wanted him to take responsibility for the change that he desired. Although, watch the text now, although the man was handicapped, Gene, although he was handicapped, he was still responsible for the change he desired. Can I bless you right here? Don't hang up on me. Just click over and come back. Although he was handicapped, the man still had to have responsibility for the change he desired. He had challenges in his life. But yet and still, out of all the challenges, Jesus was expecting something from him. And that's the problem with many of us. We want somebody else to do everything. Pay our bills. Say something if you will. Get me out of trouble when I get in trouble. Be my short-term loan and that end up being a long-term loan when you get in trouble. We want everybody else to take responsibility for the change that we need to happen in our life. But if you're going to rise above the problem, watch this have changed. To do so, watch the text. To do so, to rise above the problem of change, the first thing he had to do, he had to rise above people problem. Come on, just stay with me a few more minutes now. I'm watching the clock. He had to rise above people problem. Can the church say people problem? What do you find that? That is in the 7th verse, the 8th clause. He said, now I have no man. Praise his holy name. Now it's easy to justify when we are blaming other folk around us. This man blamed others and shifted the responsibility away from himself. Sound like church folk. I can't grow. Why you can't grow? It's hard to grow when you don't study. It's hard to grow when you don't pick up the word for yourself. Don't hang up. Come on with me. It's hard to grow when you ain't doing no praying in your life, when you're doing more partying than you're doing praying. It's hard to grow. I wish I had some help. When you got 2 feet on outside the church and a toe on the inside, it's hard to grow. Y'all getting quiet right there. But many people are still living crippled lives, still in the same mess because they're always blaming other folk. Want to blame their parents, want to blame their family, want to blame their upbringing, I had a disadvantage growing up as a child. But can I help you here? If you've been born again, are y'all in here with me? Behold, all things are made new. The old things are passed away. That means whatever was jacked up in your life, the word of God said, I'll make it new. Can I help you here? At some point, you need to look in the mirror and realize that we are the ones holding our own self down. We got to learn the lesson Jesus was trying to teach out of this man. We must learn to take full responsibility for the baloney and the mess in our lives if we want change to come. So he had people problem, but not only did he have people problem in rising above the problem of change, but then, Martin, he had pool problems. Can the church say pool problems? There again, look at 7th verse B clause. Watch this. He said, when the water is troubled. I don't really know what took place at this pool. Coach, it's not stated what was behind the troubling of the water, although some theologians said perhaps it was an underground spring that bubbled up. I don't know. I wasn't there. But whatever the case, this man allowed, watch me here, his condition or his situation to keep him from getting the answer to his problem. You ain't feeling me here. Many of us can't move forward because we are allowing our circumstances to keep us from moving where God is trying to take us. You ain't feeling me here. We allow our situations to hold us down. When life deal you lemon, make some lemonade. Talk to me, somebody. You got to learn how to do something on yourself. When David was facing tough times in his life, he didn't allow the circumstances to keep him down. That's why he could say, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. A lot of us got pool problems. Are y'all in here with me? Got pool problems. Every church we go to, there's a problem. And it ain't the pool. It's the folk around the pool. Don't hang up on me. Come on and talk to me. Wherever you go, I don't care where you go, whatever church you go to, it's going to have a problem because you there. Talk to me if you ain't scared. The Bible said they had pool problem. Not only do we see people problem, pool problem, but then they had a pity problem. Pity problem. Same verse 7, C and D clause. Watch text. I'm almost done here. This man really wanted Jesus to feel sorry for him. Because he says, Pastor Lawson, he said, while I'm coming, another steps in before me. Listen to him trying to make Jesus have pity on him. Many of us are like this man. We want folk to feel sorry for us. Have you ever seen some folk that every time you see them, they want to tell you their story? They want to tell you a sad story. Every time you see them, they want to tell you why they say it. I don't care. It ain't really my problem. I wish I had some help in here. The Bible said the joy, do I have any Bible? The joy of the Lord is my strength. Don't bring me your mess. Don't bring me your God. Every time I turn around, well, but ain't nothing but drama coming. I wish I had some help up in here. I always want somebody to feel sorry for. Many men are like this, man. We want our egos struck. A lot of folk don't, they like handouts rather than help ups. We walk around feeling sorry for ourselves. Men are guilty, and a lot of us are guilty of enabling people instead of empowering folk because we stand there and listen to that foolishness. What you say, child? What? What, I didn't know that. All that crazy stuff, baloney. You wonder why the Lord ain't blessing us, because you won't let him give you no caviar. You want bologna. You won't let him give the final thing. You want bologna because you stand there listening. Y'all gonna talk to me here? And then every time some folk you see them call them, don't even pick it up. Do like I do. I see some of y'all call them, they'll call back. I ain't got time for that right now. Do I have any real folk? You know you don't answer every call that you see. Some of y'all do me the same way. Hey, go call him again. I wonder what he want now. Zap, voicemail. I wish I had some help in here. Everybody want pity party. Y'all with me here? But change is possible. Number 3, I'm going to do this thing now. Listen, you got to retain aspiration for the possibility of change. You do that by worshiping the eternal. You do it by waiting enduringly. You do it by watching with expectancy. Second thing I said, if you want to rise, you got to rise above the problem of change by looking at people problem, by pool problem, and pity problem. Thirdly and finally, you got to respond appropriately to the process of change. I say you got to respond appropriately to the process of change. Verse 8 and 9, and I'm out of here. We want change to happen our way. Jesus proves here that he possesses both power and authority to make us physically and spiritually whole at the same time. Jesus shows us that he had the power to make us physically and spiritually whole, can the church say, at the same time? Now the physical miracle that Jesus did by grace and mercy, he's willing to do for those of us who are spiritually impotent as well. Everybody at the pool is not well. But Jesus said, the same way I blessed him, I'll do it for you. But just this impotent man responded to the words of Jesus. We got to respond to. How did he respond? I'm glad you asked. He responded to the process by faith. I'm done here today. He responded to the process by faith. Wake up, James, I'm finna go. He responded by faith. Notice that Jesus ordered the man to do something that he hadn't done for 38 years and counting. Can the church say and counting? To respond to Jesus would require faith and obedience and exercise a will for his life. He would have never experienced healing had he not by faith chosen to stand up. Look at it in the text. He would have never, look at here, Lundy, he would have never rose above his circumstances had he not responded overwhelmingly to the command of Jesus. Many times we won't change in healing without faith and obedience. Watch what he did. It's right here in the text. When Jesus told him what to do, we don't see where he grabbed no wheelchair. We don't see where he grabbed no handles. But the Bible said immediately. He didn't come out, where my medicine bottle? He responded by faith. Are y'all in here with me? He didn't say, wait a minute, let me take a painkiller. The Bible said he responded by faith. What I'm trying to tell you, Lundy, change is possible. But it's only possible if we respond by faith. Not only do we see the process by faith, but the second thing, he responded to the process fully. Do I have a witness in here? Notice, Jesus gave him the outline for the man to do. Jesus said to him, rise up, take up, and walk. Y'all missed it right there. Rise up, take up, and walk. Notice what the man did. He rose, took up his bed, and walked. What I'm trying to tell you, whenever the Lord gives you a command, yes, you can't half-heartedly do what he says. But you got to learn how to trust the Lord all the way. Do I have a witness in here? You got to learn to say, Lord, any way you bless me, Lord, I will be satisfied. Do I have a witness in here? You can't be a half-hearted Christian. You can't obey half the way. You got to go all the way. Do I have a witness in here? And I'm so glad that can't nobody do me like Jesus, because I found out that if I trust him, he will provide.
Thank you for viewing this edition of the Lundy Experience. We pray that this broadcast has been a blessing to you and your entire family. For more information on the happenings at Lundy Chapel, we invite you to visit us on our website at www.lcmbc.com. We also invite you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. We also would like to invite you to worship with us on 1st through 4th Sundays at 10 o'clock a.m. and on 5th Sundays at 8 a.m. We also invite you to join us every Sunday at 8:45 a.m. for life groups. We have classes for couples, singles, men, women, teen, children, and seniors. Also, every Wednesday, beginning at 6 o'clock p.m., we have a dynamic Worship and Word Study Wednesdays. Classes for adults, teens, and kids are available. We look forward to seeing you at the chapel.